Bayley is seemingly gone from the WWE. Welcome to the Lattes Edition, episode 26. Let's get into it. So, everybody was suspecting that Bayley's contract might be up after Saturday night's main event, that she might be leaving the WWE. She's hinted at teaming with Mercedes Moné or having a program with her, who, if you don't know, is formerly Sasha Banks in WWE. She is now in AEW as Mercedes Moné, and all signs point to Bayley being gone, her putting over the younger talent in Lyra Valkyria on her way out, presumably. And apparently she is believed to not have signed a new contract as of now, and it's expected that her current deal ends by the end of this year unless injury time is added. So unfortunate to see Bayley go because she's always been so underused in the WWE. She's so reliable and so consistent, yet is not able to consistently be on TV. I do think Bayley has a real chance to shine in AEW though, and if she does do a program with Mercedes Moné, we all know it's going to be absolutely incredible and must-watch TV. And it's so sad to see a bunch of these people go. Like the New Day, nobody thought they would ever leave. Nobody thought Sheamus would ever leave. A lot of people probably didn't think Bayley would ever leave. But with TKO just wanting younger, cheaper options, that's just what it is, which it's ridiculous that TKO can't just shell out a decent amount of money for their old reliable talent. However, for Lyra Valkyria on the flip side, this is pretty freaking good. Her new heel character has been awesome. The bloody nose helped a lot at Saturday night's main event, and her in kayfabe, of course, beating Bayley so hard that she's just completely gone from WWE forever is really good for her character, and I think it's really helping establish her. She's got a new submission, a new ring attire, a new look, a new theme song, a new everything. And I'm really hoping that it seems like WWE is putting effort into this, and I'm really hoping that it stays that way. But they need to follow it up at SummerSlam by having her do something. They could even put her in the interim women's championship ladder match. Just get her on the SummerSlam card because she is extremely hot right now. WWE actually reduced ticket prices, and surprise, surprise, they sold 4,500 tickets in 2 days. They sold so many tickets that they even bumped up how many seats are in the stadium. It was originally set up for 29,000. Now they bumped it up to, I believe, 31,000, which is still pathetic because US Bank Stadium holds 70,000. But the thing is, though, while I am happy about this, they're doing it for the wrong reasons. They're only doing this because they have to sell more tickets. And another thing I'm really concerned about, like what happened with WrestleMania 40, is that they will make up for this lost ticket revenue by overflowing us with ads during the actual show. Because that is exactly what happened with WrestleMania, and everybody was complaining about it. Rightfully so, of course. I don't know how many times this is going to have to happen, where they're going into a big show and, well, it's the big show. Where they're going into a big show and they can't sell enough tickets, so they lower them last second with 15,000 sales and then sell out and then say, oh, look at us, guys, we sold out. I wonder how many times it's going to take for them to do that, for them to realize they need to just lower the ticket prices permanently. I don't know, but I hope they catch on soon. SummerSlam is expected currently to feature between 12 and 13 matches across both nights. Right now we are at 9, and we have one SmackDown tonight, a Raw, and a SmackDown next week to announce 4 matches, or at least 3 matches. So it's definitely possible, and I'm glad that seemingly, hopefully, they are doing more than 10 matches, because last year at SummerSlam it was just 10, and I feel like we need a bit more. But most importantly of all, I really hope every match gets at least over 10 minutes and gets just enough time properly. Speaking of the SummerSlam card, though, it is looking like a literal dream SummerSlam card, a dream anything card. I mean, every single match is amazing. Like, on paper, this is one of the greatest, like, wrestling cards I have ever seen. And this could genuinely be a historic level of SummerSlam if they book this SummerSlam correctly. You have Roman versus Seth. You have Brock versus Oba, Hell in a Cell. You have Liv versus Io, Cody versus Punk, Dom and Danhausen, Gable and Penta, Gunnar and Nick Aldis, LA Knight, Solo and Royce Keys versus the Usos and Jacob Fatu, and the Women's Interim Championship ladder match with Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and 3 more TBD. I mean, that you have like 3 absolute dream matches right there. You got Roman and Seth, Brock and Oba, and Cody and Punk. Those are 3 dream matches, WrestleMania main event level matches. This card is absolutely insane. And staying on the topic of the SummerSlam card, the first hour on ESPN is expected to have Chad Gable versus Penta, and I would actually love this because it makes me think that this match will hopefully get the time of day because they want to show off these absolutely incredible wrestlers. They want to let them cook for as long as possible to get those ESPN fans to watch the rest of the show. Because one of my biggest concerns going into this is that it's only going to get 10 minutes. And yeah, it'll be a great 10 minutes, but they could do 10 times better with 10 more minutes. So I'm really hoping that this means the match gets the light of day, and I really hope Chad Gable wins. Tiffany Stratton versus Blake Monroe was reportedly the original plan for the Women's United States Championship at SummerSlam, and I don't know why in the world they deviated away from this. Oh, they wanted to put Tiffy time in the ladder match. You don't need to have Tiffany Stratton in the ladder match. I can give you a ladder match that doesn't require either Jade or Tiffy. That would be amazing. Jordynne Grace, Blake Monroe. Well, okay, let's assume Blake Monroe is in this match. So Jordynne Grace, JC Jane, Kiana James, Julia, and Chelsea Green. That's 5. And no matter who wins in that scenario, we will have a unique, never before seen Women's WWE champion. It will be something new, unique, and refreshing no matter who wins that. We've already seen Jade as champion recently. We've already seen Tiffy as champion recently. And that's not to say either of them were bad champions. Well, Jade was, but it wasn't her fault. But this way, we would get something new, and you can still do Blake Monroe versus Tiffany Stratton, and you can still do Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair. I don't know why they are abandoning both of these absolute banger dream matches to put them in the ladder match. Seth Rollins on the kickoff show for SummerSlam, which was actually really good, and it felt like the WrestleMania 40 kickoff show. Not like, as crazy, but it was a really good kickoff show. It actually helped get me hyped for the show, and Seth Rollins was cutting a promo bars, and he said, Roman Reigns may be the current world champion, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm the people's champ, baby, if you smell what I'm cooking. And obviously, he is hinting at using The Rock's catchphrases. And I feel like with The Rock's recent movie flops and how how things are heating up with The Rock potentially returning to the WWE, this cannot be an accident, and this really makes me have real hope, which is not a good thing, but I'm prepared to get it crushed because I'm a Vikings fan, so it's getting my hope up for a Final Boss Bloodline Rules return. The heat between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk going into their match is really stupid. Cody is absolutely furious that CM Punk accidentally hit him. Owie, my eye. He accidentally hit him in the eye after, or he hit him in the eye after the match with the tag match. Why can't I talk? With Sammy and Gunther. And it was very clearly an accident. He hit him in the eye with the belt, and Cody was not happy. You're telling me that's the whole thing that's getting this started? Maybe, I've said this already, maybe if during the match, like, Sammy or Gunther was in the corner, Cody was waiting for the tag, and Punk, like, just decked Cody in the face with a punch, that's actually possible to be not an accident, and that would be justifiable to be that mad. Especially if it ended up giving him like a bloody nose or something. Like, this would be a lot more reasonable than, owie, you hit my eye. But I also have said this, if it leads us to one of these two turning heel, I'm intrigued. Tom Brady is reportedly in talks with WWE relating to possibly having a match with Logan Paul. Can we fire Logan Paul? But this would absolutely be terrible. And this might be the only, if this match did happen, this might be the only ever match where Logan Paul is the babyface. I know I would be rooting for Logan Paul 100,000 times out of 10. And how can you let this buffoon call WWE cute and stuff and just completely insult and disrespect the business and everyone in it, and then be like, yeah, come on in, come on, have a match. But also on the good side, it would actually make him train and show how hard that it actually is, and it would be fun watching Tom Brady get beat up. And the slap at Fanatics Fest, which is what like ignited this whole thing, was one of the worst slaps I have ever seen in my life. The dude smacked a mosquito off his head. His hand was completely stiff, and he like smacked him in like the ear with his palm. It was a terrible slap. This past Monday on Raw, there was 0 women's matches. There was 0 women's promos on TV. This is just absolutely embarrassing. I talked more about this in my my voice cracked. In my women's wrestling is being disrespected video. So if you want to see more thoughts on this, go watch that. The video was uploaded like 3 days ago on Tuesday. So yeah, but this, I don't know how you can leave out an entire half of your roster on an episode of Raw, especially not even featuring the World Championship scene. I mean, yeah, you had Liv and Io fight, but like, you couldn't have done a promo. You couldn't have done a match with Raquel and Io. Or Lara Valkyria, who's super hot right now. You couldn't have followed that up. Like, I don't get it, man. On Unreal Season 3, Triple H said that the creative team didn't make Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble because they didn't want him to be shoved down fans' throats. That is the biggest, fattest load of BS I have ever heard in my life. When has that ever stopped WWE from pushing someone? They did it with Roman Reigns. They did it with Hulk Hogan. They did it with Jey Uso. They kind of corrected themselves by having Jey lose the title relatively soon, though, because it just wasn't working. But this has never stopped WWE. So this is just a complete cop-out and a lie. Just trying to make excuses for bad booking. Staying on the topic of Unreal, Michael Hayes was one of the biggest names behind the idea of Brock Lesnar squashing John Cena at WrestlePalooza, or Wepapalooza, I should say. And I don't know if they're doing this on purpose, like trying to make Michael Hayes look like an idiot, but if they're not, he needs to be fired. Like, genuinely. He thought Pat McAfee should have beaten Gunther. He thinks Chelsea Green is not main event worthy. And he wants Brock Lesnar to squash John Cena. I mean, it's just, It makes no sense. Last thing about Unreal, Triple H says Pat McAfee was inserted to Cody vs. Randy to get fans to dislike him and Randy while also making Cody Rhodes more likable. It did not do that at all. Nobody disliked Randy. Everybody booed Pat McAfee, but when Randy did something, they would cheer. Everybody just hated Pat McAfee and you. They did not hate Randy Orton. They did not like Cody Rhodes any more than they did before. I highly doubt that they actually believe this. There was no way they can be that incompetent, right? Dave Meltzer believes that Solo Sikoa isn't very likable as a babyface. Dude, I don't know if we're watching the same Solo Sikoa, but yeah, he is. He is one of the most likable and entertaining acts in all of WWE. So stick to match ratings, dude. All right, let's preview SmackDown. We have Cody Rhodes and CM Punk to speak. Gunther to speak. We have Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax in the qualifying match for the women's interim ladder match thingy. And we also have Chelsea Green versus Kiana James, which I like because this means we will get kind of like a wild card at least one wild card in the ladder match. And I would tell me Chelsea Green as champion for a month wouldn't be super entertaining. That is going to be it though for this episode of Lattes Vision. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want. And bye.